So, the question is around out of the gloss. What is up, guys? Welcome back. Happy Friday. So, today we're going to be playing with some new makeup that I just hauled in my big PR unboxing. Stuff I've been super duper excited about. So today we're going to be basically focusing on, like, we're going to do a full face of makeup. We're going to do a get ready with me. We're going to do a chitty chatty thing. But we're going to be focusing on the Urban Decay Stoned palette in all of her glory. We're also going to be playing with the Aether Beauty new Crystal Charged Cheek Palette in Amber. She is super cute. I'm really excited. It'll be a first impression on this one, not on the formula, but on the colorway. And finally, did it fall on the floor? Did I take it with me? The new Tower 28 Milky lip glosses, which I couldn't resist. I've been playing with them quite a bit lately. I went on my Instagram and I kind of asked you guys for prompts. My Instagram is @HeyKackie. If you guys are ever wanting to engage with these kinds of prompts and surveys and things like that I do on there, come follow me. We have fun, especially in my stories. But I will be kind of perusing some of the things that you guys suggested that we talk about today. Some topics that are light, some topics that are not so light. So yeah, let's go ahead and get started, guys. Ugh. I fully intended to have a rare beauty video for you guys ready today, but I've been forgotten by UPS. Basically, I ordered all of the stuff from Rare Beauty the morning that it came out, on September the 3rd. And then 2 days later, I watched Kate the Great on her stories, and she was just absolutely so in love with the matte lip color, and I had not ordered the matte lip color. I'd ordered just about everything else. And I thought to myself, you know what, even though matte lip colors aren't my thing, I trust Kate. And as you guys know, regardless of whether something is going to be my favorite product in the whole world for, you know, here and forever, I still want to know. There was like this nagging thing in my brain that was like, you're gonna want to know. And so I ordered it while I was like driving. My husband was driving us back from New Mexico. 2 days later. And guess what? The lip color came yesterday and none of the rest of the order did, and it said that it was supposed to. So now it's scheduled for today, but guess what? My soul needs to record. So that's what we're doing. Okay, the foundation that I'm going to use today is going to be the Bite Beauty Changemaker. I have been using this quite a bit lately. You know, I vacillate on the foundations that I'm in the mood for. And this is just a texture that every time I see it on camera, I just love how it looks, and I kind of forgot about it. A few people had asked in my prompt on Instagram, they were like, do you still use the Exa Beauty? Do you still use the Ilia? The answer is absolutely yes. In fact, my mom is now addicted to the Ilia by way of my sister, because my sister called me months ago and asked me what foundation I recommended and kind of described her wants and needs. And I was like, have you tried the Ilia Super Serum Skin Tint? And she was like, no. And so she tried it. She's like, this is the best thing ever. And so my mom went to visit my sister in Atlanta months ago. And when she did, she had herself a little brain fart and did not remember to bring like half of her stuff, like most of her clothes, all of her makeup. And my sister just, you know, is a miracle worker and managed to pull it out. She had gotten my mom a bunch of like clothes delivered. She has a lot of contacts. She's got a person for everything, my sister does. But anyway, basically she just sort of used her very extensive makeup collection to accommodate my mom. And she put that Ilia on my mom's face. She's like, let me just do your makeup, you know? And my mom looks at herself in the mirror. She goes, what is that? That is the best my face has ever looked. And so now they've restocked all of the shades. Yes, Ilia has restocked all the shades. They might be back out of stock by now, but I know last week they restocked them. My mom has now ordered herself a bottle of that. It is just so good. And my mother is now, as of like a couple weeks ago, 63 years old. So it works on a lot of different skin maturities. Yep, still beautiful. Still love that. Now I do have a little bit of a fake tan on, so it doesn't perfectly match me, but you know what? That's what Salt New York is for. With all of that in mind, you guys have seen me contour and bronze a million times. I'm gonna go ahead and do that like in fast motion, fast forward, zoom, and then we will arrive at the point where it is time to do blush. Don't worry, guys. We will still have plenty of time for me to blather at you while I'm attempting to make full sentences while applying eyeshadow. It's always an adventure. Love a Salt New York moment. That was just my contour and my bronzer. I will link all of that stuff below. And then I am just going to take a little bit of the corresponding Bite powder and touch that where I need it, mainly because we're going to be applying a powder blush. So I don't want it to catch. So as far as the Aether Beauty blush formula is concerned, it's really beautiful. So the kind of deepest tone here is always going to be more saturated. This one's going to be a little bit more of like a wash, and then this is your highlight, so you can kind of mix them all together and kind of get what you want. So we're going to start by dipping kind of just a fluffy brush here into that peachy tone. I've tried the Rose Quartz colorway, but I haven't tried this one yet, and I'm so excited about it because it's actually peachy, like truly peach, and like, I don't know, things tend to go too orange and too pink on me all the time, but when you can really nail down a good peach, look at how it like contrasts against blue. I'm having to come to terms with the fact that blue just looks really good on me. I don't know, it sounds weird, but like there are certain colors I can wear and certain colors I can't. And you know, blue is just, it needs to be in my repertoire because I feel like, I don't know, it just kind of contrasts in a flattering way against my my undertones. And peach really helps, you know? I feel like they kind of bounce off each other in a nice way. This is a lovely shade. This is, I'm just using that middle shade. And it's actually matte. I was expecting it to be a little bit shimmery and it's not. And I actually really am glad about that because that means I can layer it. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. Right now she is running some bundles I saw on site where you can get the Summer Solstice palette and the Ruby colorway in this for like $64 or something crazy like that for the two. It's an amazing deal. So, and you can always get 15% off at Aether down in my description box. Why does that sound so weird? Okay, I'm actually going to go in with the deeper shade here and just try and make sure we don't overdo it. It's kind of hard to back your way out of too much powder blush, you know? Ooh, this one might be my new favorite, guys, as far as powder blushes are concerned, and that's like really saying something. I like it because even though like Hourglass is probably one of my favorite powder blush formulas, this is matte. And it's not building any kind of sheen. I have a lot of control, which is so nice. I also have hair stuck to my face. Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. I need to clean all of my brushes now that I've been dealing with glitter, but I wanted to get through the Urban Decay palette before we did because she is almost entirely glitter. We're gonna go with this one from Thrive. It's basically, you know, intended to be a highlighter brush. That's a little gold for me, but still wearable. It's just, you know, I have my preferences. I think it does like warm my cheeks up in a nice way, but it's a little warm for me. I don't know if I just realized that I didn't put any concealer on, but I didn't put any concealer on. I don't know if I did it on purpose or not, but you know, we can always go in with color corrector and stuff like that, so. Anyway, I don't have any concealer on. I think actually what I will do is like save the color corrector until afterwards because I'm anticipating making a really big mess with this eyeshadow palette. So this is not a first impression. I have had the chance to play with this like twice kind of before filming because I just wanted to get a feel for it. And one of the biggest things that washed over me was just how much I miss working with the Urban Decay eyeshadow formula. It is so good. It is such a freaking pleasure. These mattes, like they're not all matte. I don't know. Like this one's a tiny bit satin, and I think that this one kind of is too, but they read matte enough that you can like build your crease with them and stuff. And then these guys, we might as well go ahead and swatch them because they look nothing like they do in the pan when you get them on the skin. Oh man, Swatch Queen Kackie at it again. You guys know this is my next career move, being a professional swatcher. So, Vibes, Tiger's Eye, Opal Aura, Jade, which I did a terrible job swatching. I've worn Jade and it's like incredibly saturated and beautiful. Look at this side of the swatches. That's more realistic. This whole like dragged across. I think I just am never aggressive enough at just like raking my fingers through the shadow. Meditate, Raw Energy, Oho, Bloodstone. That's Bloodstone. And then I went ahead and did the mattes too. So we have Antidote, Good Karma, Hexed, and Third Eye. So those are the sweetie swatches. We're gonna start with the mattes and just kind of build ourselves a nice little creasy situation and everything. And then I'm just gonna build some glitter, you know, on my lids and, you know, smoke it out or whatever. It's gonna end up looking glam. Full stop. There is no getting around this being a glam palette because it is, what would that be? 8 out of 10, 80% glitter.
8 out of 12, 66% glitter. 8 plus 4 is 12, as it turns out.
What this did was make me remember, like I said, how much I love working with this formula, but at the same time I was like, do I need to just go buy a naked palette? Because I just wanted to keep playing with the mattes so much. The glitters are thrilling and they're fun, but this is pretty much an all glitter palette. It's very practical if that's your thing, because it does also have the mattes so that you can build a look around the glitters. Bye, brush. But yeah. Other than that, I definitely am like, I really miss my Born to Run palette in a really big way. Let's actually start with the other thing that Urban Decay sent me, which is their eyeshadow primer potion. I think they're one of the biggest things that I have kind of, I don't know, discovered while I'm editing. When I was like editing my Thrive video, I find that my eyeshadow look kind of messy because I can still see the veins underneath my eyeshadow. I kind of want to, like, you know, shear my eyeshadow out the same way that I shear my complexion products out. And it just doesn't read because you don't end up with like full saturation of the colors a lot of times. But if you're going for something that's this colorful, I just feel like I have to do like a pretty good, like opaque, a gesso coat, if you will, underneath the colors. All right, let's open up you guys questiones. A lot of this stuff I've already answered as far as pregnancy and like my birth plan and stuff like that. Just my most recent Q&A. I will link that up here if you guys are curious. Okay, honestly, the thing that I feel like I'm getting asked the most and the thing that I'm getting tagged in all the time too, and maybe we just need to talk about it here because then, you know, we can kind of all get on the same page. That's why I like to include things in videos a lot of times as a conversation. It's just because then it's all in one place that I can refer people to so that I'm not having to have like a bunch of different private conversations. So the question is around Out of the Gloss.
I'm really sorry about the like kind of not that awesome focus for this part of the conversation, but I left it in because the conversation I feel like is important, but it's like focusing mostly on like my ears and my dress, not on my face, but the focus goes back to normal by the time we do like the glitters and all the stuff that really matters.
If you're unfamiliar with it, it is a group of ex-employees of the Glossier retail stores who started an Instagram basically airing their experiences with being discriminated against based on their race within the context of working at the Glossier retail locations. And I feel like to some extent, you know, even airing my opinion is a little bit of an assumption that anybody would care what I think because I can't, you know what I mean? I've never been racially discriminated against, so I'm kind of automatically speaking out of turn, but it sucks. And it sucked what they went through. And the main delineation for me is just that I think that what they are doing in creating this Instagram account and being as mature and judicious and diplomatic about sharing their stories, what that is to me is it can be likened to peaceful protest, right? That is basically people saying, look, we aren't able to get the response that we believe that we deserve to these, you know, situations that are not within our control through the normal channels. We can't get the answers through the normal channels that we would necessarily be directed to. And that is when people have to go outside the lines of the normal channels, which is, you know, commonly known as protest, a peaceful protest. But the thing that freaks me out is the comments. Man, wow, 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 wow. The people running that account seem to really want progress. They want answers. They want a conversation. And I really hope that Glossier does the right thing. But the comments scare the hell out of me, honestly. People on the internet right now, regardless of the actual issue, seem to want bodies. And that stuff just freaks me out. So it's like really hard for me to want to like leap into that because the vitriol is just, it's so black and white. Like, I don't know. I went on Instagram yesterday and I think Emily Weiss had posted that she had been engaged for 6 months and it was a really cute picture of her and her fiance. And everybody was commenting like, you know, how dare you post this when, you know, you won't do X, Y, and Z with your company. And I was like, God, guys, like at what point have we moved past like wanting something, you know, someone to do the right thing when Glossier, I'm in no position. I know I'm in no position to excuse or forgive or even cancel a brand. That is not, as a white person, my right, okay? But at the same time, Glossier has done some pretty cool things. You know, they've made some attempts and I feel like their negligence on the part of their retail and on the part of educating their people internally is something that they're going to need to address, you know? And I think that it's much bigger than Glossier. I think that a lot of companies are suffering from it. Not just in retail, but retail is definitely subject to, and hear me out on this, hiring a lot of young people who have unchecked biases and then giving them a lot of responsibility. Sometimes responsibility over one another that seems to be pretty arbitrary based on experience or lack thereof. And so you do end up with people who don't really deserve to be making big decisions without the right information and with a lot of unchecked biases in their brains. And that is, at the end of the day, on Glossier, but it is not an issue that only exists within Glossier. I think that is kind of the nuance that I would try and introduce, is that the owners of that account are really trying to have a civil conversation with the people who run that company, but that it's giving, not that they're responsible for this, but that kind of conversation online in and of itself gives people license to... Everyone's so mad right now. The internet in general is just very mad. And I think that they are well within their rights most of the time. But we've talked about this in a previous video where I was talking about tenuously dipping a toe into the idea of positivity and just seeing how it felt for a change. That when all you have is a hammer, sometimes everything just looks like a nail. And I think that those comment sections have moved past the idea of wanting progress in a lot of ways. Like, there are people who get it and who want progress and who want, you know what I mean? They want the same thing that the people that are running the account want. But there are, I mean, for every person like that, there seems to be 10 people who just absolutely want to burn everything down. And that is the nature of the conversations that are happening on the internet right now and why I feel resistant to pile on, I guess. And, you know, I also, we're gonna go in with Hext here, I also think that, you know, you guys might have noticed, I am not on my channel in the business of canceling brands. A, because I'm a white girl, and it's not my right. Am I in focus? Did I focus that and not, is that whole conversation been outside of focus? I am so sorry. God, I'm an idiot. But that I am in no way faultless, guiltless, entitled to casting the first stone, to use a biblical reference, you know, in this conversation. I am just as guilty of having, you know, unchecked biases and things that I have to work on, that me calling out a brand for, especially a brand that I feel like they get more flack because they've talked about being ethical and because they've tried to do the right things in the past. And so when something does happen, it's like easier to call them out somehow. Anyway, my point is I take a longer view on these things because I hope that someone would take a longer view on me. Decay. Look at my eyes. They look pretty good, I think. I hope I was like at least somewhat in focus that whole time. Let's go ahead and begin here with some glitters, and let's just talk about these glitters as we go. So I've gone in with like the greens and the blues and stuff like that in the past, and they're really, really pretty. Today I'm gonna play it a little bit safer because I just want to show the wearability here. So I think that we are going to go with Meditate and Tiger's Eye mostly here. I'm going to start with Meditate. It's a little bit more like gold shift pink. Pink purple. Purple shift pink, maybe? And I'm going to layer the Tiger's Eye on top of that. So that's a little bit pink. And then we've got Tiger's Eye, which is a little bit more orange. And when you layer two of them on top of each other, you end up with this multi-dimensional foil. It is freaking satisfying. It is so fun. Oh my goodness. Look at that. But yeah, there's like no, like I said, there's no getting around this being a glam situation. You're gonna end up with glitter on your eyes. But I do feel like if I don't deepen the heck out of my crease, and maybe we'll just use Third Eye as like a really nice eyeliner shade on me, then I think that we can probably get away with making it look a little bit more daytime. So another couple of people have kind of asked, because I posted on my Instagram yesterday about the dynamic of deleting comments and the culture of it, and I feel like that kind of dovetails into what we were talking about. So let's go ahead and chat about that, because you know, we've talked about this in the past, but at the same time I do understand that there are like new people to my channel all the time, which I'm incredibly grateful for, of course, so I don't mind talking about things twice. As far as baby updates though, guys, there are a lot of requests for baby updates. There are so many baby updates happening on my blog channel. So that's on my front page. It's called More Kackie. That is basically where I keep most of that stuff. I kind of feel like I need to wet this brush. But yeah, I feel like there is a culture online where a lot of people think that like creators and brands don't have a right to curate their comment section because it's like censorship or lack of freedom of speech or something like that. But I also think, if I can offer kind of an unpopular opinion here, it is so important to remember that for every single brand, every single creator, every single account, that everyone feels should be, you know, very accountable to their commenters, because obviously they're the ones who have made their life possible basically as an influencer, that there's a person there, and that person also deserves their own mental health. And I've said this before, but I think that one of the biggest lessons that I learned has nothing to do with the internet. When you're driving in traffic and someone cuts you off and you scream at them, right? You just have a lot of like rage inside your car. And you're really ticked off, and you take all of that home with you. That person in the other car is gone. They don't know that you were mad. They don't care. They're not taking any of what you just did home with them as a lesson. You're taking it home with you as negativity. And that's kind of the lesson for it with me. It's like, if you're like, I think there are some kind of newer creators that are asking me these questions about, you know, the ways to sort of maintain your mental health in handling comments and things like that, is actually just to delete them. And there is something to be said for the hide user from channel option. So hide user from channel is the same thing as, I think they call it like shadow banning, or just like hiding comments on Instagram. And it gets a really bad rap because everybody thinks that, you know, a brand, I mean, brands are different. I don't know. Brands are a little bit different. There is nuance here too. I'm a big fan of nuance, as you guys know. I'm just gonna get nuance tattooed on me. But the way that functionality works is basically that you're the only one who can see your comment. So a lot of times you won't know that you've been blocked, hidden from channel, on someone's YouTube channel or something like that. This is the new Thrive Brilliant Eye Brightener in Estrella. And I love it because it actually is like light enough that gives me like a serious inner corner pop and an actual like brow highlight. Anyway, yeah, and it is something that people do pretty often, I think, because it basically means that you've just kind of lost your right to have like a public conversation. And sometimes people are jerks. There's just, you know what I mean? I don't think that all comments are created equal. Now, does that mean that when a brand is in crisis and everyone is demanding answers about a shade range or something like that, that they are, you know, necessarily always within their rights to just delete all of those comments? Not necessarily. And I don't really think it's my opinion. Again, I don't really think my opinion matters that much in this situation regardless. But I think that it depends on the size of the brand. If the brand is just one person, we're back to dealing with a creator, you know, and that person needs to maintain their mental health. If they've got the bandwidth and the money to be able to hire a PR team, well, then that PR team needs to be doing a better job. And a lot of times there's like gray area where a brand needs to take it as a sign that it's time to hire someone, to have enough distance. This brush is too small. To have enough distance between the accusations and their own hard work, because managing a brand is hard work. I don't think anybody's out here trying to be a jerk from a brand standpoint. They want your money. They want to sell you a product. They want to do right by their customer. And when they don't, a lot of times, you know, they're going to take it personally. And so that is often a sign that there are certain brands, and I've definitely had my opinion about certain brands that have been around long enough and have enough money and have enough, you know, experience in the space to know they should know better than to have their literal like CEO or brand owner answering comments, because it's always going to be a little bit like angsty and charged, I guess. This is so pretty, by the way. I'm using Third Eye as like just a smudgy liner. Ooh, that felt pretty. Oh, that felt pretty. I like this a lot better than the first look that I did. I always like it when I go with like the more tame shades. I just do. That's super wearable actually. It's like a kind of fall coppery thing. It's very, very pretty. But when we're talking about a creator, someone emerging in the space, and for whatever reason they're getting negative attention for not necessarily doing the right thing in exactly the right way, or they have kind of another community that's been sicked on them. I see a lot of different stuff. There's just a lot of different stuff. Honestly, to me, I just think of myself, this is, again, long view. I think of myself as a larger creator than I am, in which case, it sounds weird, but like it's more of just like a long view in the sense of, is this going to matter? This ocean of like everybody saying the same thing, is this going to matter to me in a few months? Is this going to define my career? You know, probably not. And if it's a bunch of people kind of saying the same thing, and I don't really feel like taking that negativity home with me, getting into it with people and trying to convince them of things, because like I said, the culture of comment sections right now is that people don't really want to solve things, they just want blood. And so yeah, you know, delete comments. It's healthy. I definitely have found that when I do engage with people, I'm always disappointed, because they do that thing like I've talked about before, a drive-by, where they didn't really give a crap about the comment that they left. They just said something nasty, you know? They didn't care. And they don't really want to answer for the consequences. And so when you take them to task on it, they're just going to get defensive and nothing's really going to get solved. And that's just the nature of the internet. I feel like my generation learned that. But like you go on Facebook and my parents' generation is still just like, well, against each other. And I'm like, guys, like, it's just the internet. And you know what? It's a big internet. If you find something that you don't like, you don't need to tell the person, okay? Just go find something that you like, because there's plenty of people out there who agree with you. Lord knows. And that's not to say I'm not dismissing anybody either for like having let a comment hit them and really hurt them, because I have too. I don't think that you are immature or a weak person or overly sensitive, and I don't think that, you know, having a thick skin is always possible. But I do think that when you know, I've definitely seen these comments that are like, YouTube is an open forum. I have a right to say whatever I want. I'm like, YouTube is an open forum in the sense that you have the right to make a video about whatever you want within the community guidelines. My comment section isn't an open forum. You don't have a right to say whatever you want in my comments. If something ticks you off that much, then make a video about it, build your own community. But you know, don't hijack mine. And Another person asked, just like how, I don't know, they said, how do you feel about your current community? Yeah, what do you feel when you think about your community? I love that question. I honestly think that the way that it lives in my brain has changed a lot this year. I felt very, very accountable to my community when I was doing clean beauty, in the sense of being like overly perfect, you know, needing that perfectionism. And what I realized kind of at the end of last year was that a lot of people had stuck with me in spite of doing clean beauty, even though they weren't that into it, and that those were the real ones. Those people were the ones that I wanted to attract more of. People who were here to kind of watch me grow as a human and to relate to me as a human, not just hold me accountable for like the ingredients and the products that I was using. I know it's kind of an oversimplification, but sometimes that's how it felt. And this year, which I cannot believe we're already in mid-September, freaking crazy, I have definitely found this solidarity with my community in a way that, I think that we have attracted people, again, who are intelligent and appreciate nuance and are willing to have conversations about things instead of just smacking them down. You know, open-mindedness. And also, I think that I have changed in my attitude towards my community, in the sense, you guys know, I sort of hit a wall. I hit walls sometimes. I kind of hit a wall in the middle of the year where I was so afraid of taking a wrong step. And I think that that's a privilege of being white, honestly, is that we actually have it in our heads that we can do everything right and that we can be perfect and that we can be held to account on all that stuff. And I think that it was just like a really hard lesson for me from the standpoint of the Black Lives Matter movement. And then it kind of just like, you know, emanated into everything else in my life, that actually, not only is it okay to be wrong, but you're mostly wrong. Like, you're mostly wrong. You're mostly ignorant and uneducated in a lot of different things. And like, you're constantly going to have to take on the responsibility of exposing yourself to different opinions, whether you agree with them or not. It's much healthier than constantly just kind of trying to like adjust for your own perceived perfection. Like, oh, I just need a nudge here and a nudge here. Okay, I can go to sleep tonight. I'm back to being perfect. Like, no, that's not reality. So I think that that part of it has allowed for more grace, both for myself, but also in the community, of just people knowing that they're going to come here and they're not going to encounter somebody who is going to necessarily like do a perfect face of makeup and tell you you have to also. Or like somebody even asked, you know, like, how do you feel about the stigma of like having to cover acne? Because I used to have a lot of acne. I don't think that the stigma should exist, okay? Granted, if you watch Kackie G's videos about her acne, she does a really good job of articulating the kind of seesaw of, I shouldn't let this hurt my ability to feel beautiful, but I am. And it's really hard for me to wake up and feel beautiful when my skin looks like this. And that's something that, again, nuance. I just need to make shirts that just say nuance. But that those two things can coexist. Because if you're unfamiliar with like my past, it was not so much that I had like cystic acne or something like that needed to be necessarily medically treated with like, you know, Accutane or like, oh God, what's that? Spironolactone or something. But it was that I fuss, you know, I just can't help myself and I just fuss and I pick. So actually this right here is something that I wanted to let heal a little bit before I even did these lip swatches, because I'm just so self-conscious about it. But at the same time, like you see, I haven't put concealer on it. I don't really care that much. Okay, I'm going to do a little spray here of my Veil Soft Focus Setting Spray. I'm not sure I completely finished all of that thought, but that if there's anything I want someone to take home from my community and from my videos, it's that perfection is stupid, because it's not real. And I think that it only exists to help us feel like we have control over our lives, and that's completely artificial. I think that there is so much freedom in recognizing the fact that we are not in control. And that's gonna scare a lot of people, but it's freeing to me. Wow, okay, let's mascara. I'm gonna not talk while I do this. I actually love this eye look. Oh, girl. I am loving this. This is definitely not gonna be the last time that I use this eyeshadow palette. Again, I have just really had like a renewed love again for their formula because I haven't had my hands on an Urban Decay palette in a while. All told, this look is really coming together. I'm like pretty pumped to just keep wearing this today. So, the next thing that we're gonna do, I'm actually going to, I think, show you guys all of the Tower 28 lip glosses. I love all of these with my lip liner. The Kackie lip liner goes with all of these so well. So we're going to go light to dark. That's typically what you would do, although these are all milky, so it's not like they're gonna stain my lips. We're gonna start with Oat. She's the lightest. She's a beautiful peachy nude. Nude for me. And it's ideal formula-wise and shade-wise for going with this lip liner because they mix together so beautifully. So like right now you can see a line, you know, and so you can see what it looks like. You can see what the local color of it is, and it's really pretty, but the way that I would wear it is just kind of blended into the lip liner. I wore this all day yesterday. If you saw my Instagram photo where I thought I was looking pretty cute, okay, I was feeling myself, waiting for my OB appointment. This was the combo that I was wearing, and I'm a huge fan of it. It is so, so pretty. As I wipe this off, my lips are going to get more pigmented on their own, so keep that in mind. It's not really avoidable. So the next thing that we will go in with is Coconut, and it is the pink one. Oh my gosh, I haven't used this one yet. They all smell really nice. It's just kind of like a, I'm not sure if they smell different from each other, but it's just sort of like a vague sweetness. There isn't like some kind of like distinct candy, cupcake, you know, cotton candy or something like that. Oh man, I like that one a lot. The the color, the pigment of it is a lot more detectable. And I feel like while I'm not much of a lip color girl, this just knocks it off center of like my natural lip color or whatever, just enough that I feel like it's still a look. They're not all the same, I guess, is what I'm saying, because like that's a lot more of a color than the other one was. That's really pretty. I like that a whole lot. Okay, moving into Cashew. These are really similar looking, I think. Cashew and Almond. The baby has the hiccups right now. I feel bad for him, but also they're so annoying. It's like someone sitting there going on the inside of your stomach for like 25 minutes. It's so annoying. Anyway. Ew. Okay. This one's kind of rust. You know, a little bit more orange or bricky peachy brown. Also incredibly beautiful. Not matching this makeup look oddly. You know what I mean? There's just like a little bit of nuance to it where it's a little too orange. Even though what I have on my cheeks is like peach and my eyes is peach, but I don't know. It's not that it doesn't work. I could see just as many people being like, nope, that one was my favorite. Like, I'm going to use all of them. All right, and finally we have Almond, which is a little bit more of a cool brown. It's like a cool, deeper nude. It actually is really, really similar to, perfect, the actual shade of my, my lip liner. That's absolutely beautiful. Again, all lip colors that I can actually wear, which is saying something. Okay, we're going to, I think, end up going with Coconut, the pink one today. And I think that we need just a touch more blush because, welcome to my channel. Kate the Great commented on one of my posts and she goes, Aspen cheeks! And I was like, is that what you guys call it on your channel? We call it Nordic Child Running Through the Fjords. Fjords vibes. Big Fjords mood. But I also love Aspen cheeks. That's great. And then I'm going to take just a touch of a product that we haven't seen on my channel here in a minute because I haven't been doing any powder looks in a while. but that's because it's been like summery, and now it's like, I don't know, I just get into fall stuff. I want more pigment on my face, and I feel like I need a little more coverage in order to do that. But anyway, I'm going in with my Well People Bio-Based Baked Brightener and just blending under my eyes, since we didn't do any concealing or anything like that. Just making sure everything is really nice and blended, although Lord knows I will end up looking at myself while I'm editing and being like, one eye is not blended, Kackie, and the other one is, or like one's higher than the other, or something like that. Like this one, I'm in shadow over here, and so this eye always ends up more than this one. I don't know. Anyway, yes, we don't do perfection here. Let's move you guys out, and then we will talk final thoughts on all these products that I just tried. Okay, so I love this face of makeup, like actually more than I thought that I was going to, mainly because the first time that I used the new Urban Decay palette, I went way over the top, and I was just like completely overwhelmed by the amount of like glitz and glamour I gave to my eyes. And this is so much more wearable. I think it's just because I stayed in the shades, like blush tones and stuff, that I'm comfortable with. I'm sorry, there are plenty of people who like ask me to go outside my comfort zone all the time and do blues and stuff like that. When I do blues and greens, guys, it makes me look like I have glowing red demon eyes. It's just, it's the way that the brown, it just doesn't work all the time. Anyway, this is my comfort zone. Big fan. So, if I haven't already said this, I will reiterate again for you. I love the Urban Decay eyeshadow formula, okay? I love it so much. I have missed having it in my collection. Is this the Urban Decay eyeshadow palette for you? I don't really know. Do you want 8 out of 10 of your eyeshadows to be like glowing, gorgeous glitters? That's up to you. I'm really glad that I own this because I'm really into glitter right now. I never thought that I would be that person, but as far as especially like the skin looks that I like to do, the excitement has to come from somewhere, and the excitement right now is coming in the form of glitters. And so I've got this, you didn't know what that was. That's the Hourglass shadow that I just hauled. I've got the new Natasha Denona, like, you know, multi-chrome guys. But yeah, I don't know where I was. My card was full. What I was saying, I think, was just that glitter is my big mood right now for fall. And so this is awesome. It hits all the marks for me in terms of what I was expecting, and I think that like it's hard to go into these kinds of things without expectations, but I really, really enjoy the fact that they put this out. I think that it is a lot of fun, and I'm glad that I have it. This blush palette is actually like unexpectedly my new favorite thing. This color is awesome. I love that these are both matte, and then this guy, I mean, the highlight I could kind of take or leave. It's not really that consequential to me. I think that it's pretty, but it's not necessarily my like first choice in a highlight shade. I would probably use the one in the Rose Quartz palette because I have both. Because it's just like a light pink, and that just looks better on my skin, but that means that this is also going to cater better to more, you know, deeper medium skin tones, things like that, because you are getting a highlight that's not super icy, so that's cool. But man, these look like they're just gonna be pink. When they get on the skin, they're peach, and they're pretty. They're so pretty, and they're super easy to work with. You guys saw I was able to form full sentences while putting my blush on, even with a powder blush, because it was just very effortless. It went on really, really smoothly, really evenly. And I don't think that I powdered that aggressively. I feel like you could get away with wearing this a lot of different ways. The only other thing to speak about are these lip glosses, which guys. You know, there are different levels of me approving of things. There's like, this is really good, and I think that they really delivered on their promises, or like, wow, this is really gonna make it into heavy rotation. And then there's like, is this a love letter to me? Because I feel like these Tower 28 lip glosses were literally like, dear Kackie, we heard you had a lip liner that was pretty awesome, but we thought maybe we could make some Milky lip glosses that could totally kick butt in every situation that you might encounter. Like, I ended up going with coconut, but I could have gone with any of them. If you are a proud owner already of the Thrive Kackie lip liner, understand that all of these, it was like they were meant to be, honestly, as far as I'm concerned. And I love their lip gloss formula to begin with. I was very resistant to it at first because all they had were clear glosses, and I was like, but I've got Glossier, like what do I need that for? But Glossier doesn't do anything like this. And they're different from the Rowan too. They are different from the Rowan. So yeah, really big fan of these. They're very, I mean, as far as these things go, as far as like prestige products at Sephora go, they're cost effective, and I truly, like, this is one of my favorite like lip gloss releases in a really long time. Man, oh, I feel so cute. I feel so cute. I love my eyes today. That is so Nice. Wow. Yes. Okay. So those are my thoughts on all of those things. Those are my thoughts on the things that you guys asked me. Thank you, as always, guys, for engaging with my prompts on my Instagram. Like, you know what I mean? I'm just who am I? I'm no one important. And the fact that people actually, like, when I say, hey guys, what should we talk about today? You guys actually come in with super interesting things that you want to, like, build conversation around. It means the absolute universe to me. So thank you so much. If you did enjoy this video, give it a thumbs up. If you want to keep hanging out with me on this channel, guys, hit the button down below and subscribe. I would love it if you guys did. Rare Beauty will be coming as soon as I have the actual products in my hands. I promise I'm just as excited as you are, so look forward to that. That will hopefully be next week, early next week, if like as soon as possible, honestly. A new vlog will be coming out soon. I'm finishing that up today as well, so it might be like over the weekend. But yeah, guys, thank you so much for watching and for hanging out with me today. I love you so much, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!